This is another week in my classroom. We had some really good discussions on Florida history, and we're going to be looking at student writing, student essay writing, and discussing the rubric for scoring. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday, January 28, 2019. My name is Mariely Sanchez, and I am a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is another week in my classroom. So it is actually the last week of January, and it ends with Take Your Child to Work Day. So let's see how our week goes and what happens on Friday. Right now, I'm going to finalize my lesson plans for the week, and I am going to put up some work on one of my bulletin boards, and I'll probably show you glimpses of that once I'm done. And yeah, I'm very excited. It has been a very rainy weekend here in South Florida with the cold front that's coming in, and that cold front is part of the big winter storm that the north of us is having, which I am so sorry for all that snowfall that you're having. Some of you are having snow days, so I hope you stay home nice and warm and protected. It has been pretty chilly. This morning was 53 degrees, but because it is gusting winds so badly over here, it feels a lot colder. Last night we had a tornado warning, which is not very common down here, and one actually touched down not that far from me, so very interesting weather we're having. So we're gonna try to stay cozy and warm and get on with our week. So I'm going to get going with my planning, and I will speak to you later. Mirrors.
Mirrors on.
Point.
Point.
Line.
Line.
Line segment.
Line segment.
Ray.
Ray.
Angle.
Angle.
Right angle.
Right angle.
Acute.
Acute.
Obtuse.
Obtuse.
Straight angle.
Straight angle.
180 degrees.
180 degrees.
Right angle.
Right angle.
90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Acute.
Acute.
Less than 90 degrees.
Less than 90 degrees.
Greater than 0 degrees.
Greater than 0 degrees.
Obtuse.
Obtuse.
Greater than 90 degrees.
Greater than 90 degrees.
Less than 180.
Less than 180.
Perpendicular.
Perpendicular.
Parallel.
Parallel.
Intersecting.
Intersecting.
Mirrors off.
Okay.
Good job!
Everywhere you go, parallels, can you even know? Look at my life, look around and see, they meet at right angles, like a T I said.
It's now the end of the day, and from the clips that you saw, the students worked on their posters for the social studies chapters that they were assigned to last week. I gave them a whole hour, but there's still some teams that may need a little bit more time. So I think tomorrow morning I'm going to give them 15 more minutes before each team is asked to present and do the jigsaw activity, where they will teach the whole class about what their chapter was mostly about. So the gist of that chapter. And I created my example, which you saw, so that they knew exactly what they needed to do with that particular poster. Now, along to that, you also saw some videos. We had a brain break after our math lesson today. So you saw a clip of one of the brain breaks that I did, a just dance with Waka Waka. But then afterwards, the students wanted to do another brain break with Thriller. So I didn't show it on clip here in this video, but we did do another just dance kind of video using Thriller, which they loved. And then that moved us on to our science lesson, where we finished our Gizmo activity. And I'm going to show you the back of that activity so that you can see what the students did. So this is the activity A that we went ahead and did in our Gizmos. And basically we prepared the Gizmo by chilling it and waiting until the temperature was -°C. And that's what we did on the actual Gizmo on the interactive board. And then we went ahead and put it at different temperatures to see whether the water was a solid, liquid, or gas. Then they went ahead and did a hypothesis answering the question, how does the temperature affect the phase of water? And then they predicted what would happen at these different temperatures. Would the water be a solid, liquid, or gas? And then we actually conducted the trial, and they ended up seeing what actually happens to the water at each of these temperatures. Then we went ahead and analyzed all this information. What temperature does water melt, boil, condense, and freeze? And then they were able to extend their thinking by providing an example of a time they noticed a phase change in real life. So this is what we did in science today. Along with that, the students watched a couple of Flocabulary videos on matter and phases of matter and about water, which is something that they need to understand. And tomorrow we'll continue with learning about how we measure matter and take notes in our notebook. Also behind me, you can notice that I already put up their lines, rays, and angles activity that they worked on last week. So let me give you a better look at that. So here is our math bulletin board, and it has a title, and I showcase a couple of different activities that the students created. Yes, I know some of them still need to fix this. I did talk about it in class though, so they know. And basically I showcased some of them here, and the other ones I also showcased outside. So it serves as a great visual reminder about what all these different types of lines are. Now that the students know what these types of lines are and the angles and the rays, etc., they're using that knowledge to apply it to actually writing and drawing these types of lines, and also writing the relationship between two lines or line segments, and also determining which triangles have the different angles. And tomorrow we'll be learning about quadrilaterals. So what kind of lines, perpendicular or parallel, are found on different types of quadrilaterals. So we did that. And at the end of the day, we finished by gathering evidence for our Ella Fitzgerald and creating our planning sheet. So let me show you that right now. Here is how I show the students how to go ahead and create a content frame to gather their evidence to address the prompt, how Ella Fitzgerald was important to the history of jazz. So I had asked them, you know, what should I put up here? Of course, source 1, source 2. And what should I put over here? So basically, we decided we were going to look at each source and see what Ella Fitzgerald did and how that was important to jazz. And then, of course, they did their elaboration. After we gathered our evidence, we then went to the back to the blank side, and we did a spaceship. This is our spaceship graphic organizer that we use to plan our essay. We put the topic on the top, and then these become our reasons or ideas. In this case, there are reasons. So I kept asking them, how would you answer if somebody were to ask you, why is Ella Fitzgerald important to the history of jazz? What would you answer? So these are different answers that the students gave me, and then from there, we elaborated on that. So this is elaboration for all three of these. And then we found at least one piece of evidence, small piece of evidence, that supported this. So that is how they planned their essays and how I modeled to them how to make sure they use their planning sheet. Now you were able to get a copy of this passage set. I'll link it down below. It's available for free because my district made them available online. So I'll make sure I leave a link down below if you would like to use this with your students. Tomorrow, the students in my class are going to take a 45-minute time test where they will write their essay to this prompt. And then I'll use that for mini lessons for the rest of the week. And then for reading, the students reread Abe's Honest Words and A New Birth of Freedom, and they were to answer 4 questions on finding the claim that the author makes, and then finding a sentence that supports that claim, and also connecting the 2 passages together. How are they alike? So it's been a day full of learning, and this teacher is tired, and I'm getting ready to leave. But that's basically what we did today. And now I'm going to take you to Tuesday. Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, January 29th, 2019. I can't believe that I keep saying that because I feel like January is like going away so quickly. But yeah, by Friday, we're in a new month, and that's crazy. So today the students are going to finish working on their posters for their social studies chapter. They're gonna have 30 minutes to do that this morning and then 30 minutes to present and teach the class about the gist of their chapter. And sorry for all the loud noise outside, but the kids are out there in the hallway waiting for the classroom doors to open in about 20 minutes. So a lot of rambunctious behavior out there. All right, so then after that, they are going to take a 45-minute writing test on their Ella Fitzgerald prompt, and then they're going to take a Wonders assessment for the unit we just wrapped up. All right, but basically that's what we're doing. Later on in math, I'll let you know what we end up doing, and now I'm just gonna get some things ready for the day. So I will catch up with you later.
And also, because of the transportation, more people were able to come, and there were tourists. Which is why that little person right there is like, yay, son.
Hello again, everyone. So it's now the end of the day, and what a day it has been. First of all, let's start with the fact that our bathroom, one of our two bathrooms, got flooded. It got so flooded that it started leaking to the first floor classroom that's under us. And that created a big distraction. Luckily, when that was happening, the students were presenting these posters that are behind me that I'm going to give you a glimpse of, and that wasn't that bad. But then after that, I was going to have them do their writing test, our 45-minute essay writing test for Ella Fitzgerald. That was not going to happen while the custodian was in there with a loud machine trying to suck all the water in and try to clear up all the watery mess that was in our room and in the in-between and in our classroom next door. It was a nightmare. So that didn't happen, and we also didn't do our Wonders assessment because that wasn't going to happen either. Then we had PE after lunch, and when the kids came back in, they tracked in a whole lot of dirt. I mean, I can't show you right now because my student teacher helped me sweep the floor, but there was muddy dirt all over the floor. I mean, it looked like the classroom was probably belonging to the outside because it was that bad. Craziness. So I had to address that, and I'm going to address it tomorrow again, that after PE, when we go next time, they need to make sure they stomp their feet outside before they get into the building. So that was that. The other thing that happened was that one of the groups, while they were presenting, some people decided that they were going to sit on my Harry Potter square beanbag kind of thing that I told them not to sit on because I wanted to use it more as a decoration piece, and this happened. They tore it. They totally tore it. They did not take care of it. And this got me really sad. The good thing is that Target online does have them. So there's a possibility I can get a replacement. But I am going to take it home to see if my mom with her handy dandy sewing skills can just try to fix it for me. But this made me so sad. So that happened. Also, Miss Guzman got to teach at the end of the day her first social studies lesson. You saw her in the morning in the clip. She was presenting her poster because chapter 7 was so long that I had her do the other half of that chapter so that that one group didn't have so many sections to do. So let me show you the posters. These are the posters that the students created in groups, and basically they were assigned different chapters and they needed to get like an image and a sentence or two describing what their chapter talked about. So chapter 7 was all about when the Native people came to Florida and also went up to the Civil War. And then Miss Guzman continued her from the Civil War to today. Pretty much she went over all of these different things that happened after the Civil War. So that's what she was presenting. And chapter 3 was about how life is affected in the Southeast according to geography. Well, how geography affects life in the Southeast. This is chapter 5, which was a bus and a boat tour, which went over landmarks and tourist attractions in Florida. This is chapter 4, which went over Florida's geography and how that affects Florida and how it connects it to the economy, how it connects it to the geography, where people live in Florida, etc. And then chapter 6 talked about the native people of Florida, Juan Ponce de Leon, how he came, the Spanish missions, and all that jazz. We had some really good discussions on Florida history, and that caught us all up so that Ms. Guzman can start teaching the students about the peopling of Florida, which are all the immigrant groups that make Florida what it is today. The European Americans, the American Indians, Asian Americans, the Latino Americans, and the African Americans. So they're still working on that lesson with her on Thursday. We don't do social studies on Wednesdays because it's a short day. Yeah, and that's basically what we ended up doing today, and I'm very tired. So I'm gonna get my things together and go home, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is now Wednesday, January 30th, 2019, and I'm hoping to have a really good day with my students. I also have a collaborative planning meeting with my team after school, and we're going to be looking at student writing, student essay writing, and discussing the rubric for scoring, because I want to be able to support my teachers and help them in figuring out how to score their papers if they have any questions. So I'll be sure to share what I end up sharing with them, and also something that I created at home very early this morning, because my body got up at 3:30 a.m. and my brain was wide awake and ready to do some work. So I sat at my laptop and I typed away and created an elaboration resource, because I know that teaching elaboration techniques and strategies in writing is something that is not easy to do. So I sat down and tried to put everything that I understand from elaboration, put it down in a document, and that way I can use it with my students and I can also share it with my teachers. So yes, I'll share that with you later as well. All right, so let me go ahead and get my day started, and I'll see you later. We just finished wrapping up the end of the day, and I just finished having a grade level meeting with my team, and the ELA teachers pretty much got together and we went going over how to score the papers for the writing test. We went over the scoring rubric. We went over some exemplars that the state has on the website so that we can see what they gave a high score to, what kind of writing got the highest score, and it was a good session. So now I'm just waiting around for 5 o'clock. Right now it's about 4:23 or so. At 5 o'clock in Eastern Standard Time, I will be hosting one of my very first kind of chats on IG Live. So I am looking forward to learning with other teachers out there, or whoever joins, or maybe it's just 1 or 2 people. Whoever is in there, I get to talk to about text-based writing, which is basically what we've been doing all of these weeks and what we did today with my grade level team. I do have something really cool that I finally was able to do and finish, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't film the process, because I literally did it in between time today, and I actually did most of it during their Spanish time, and when they have Spanish, they're in my room, so I couldn't really film while the teacher was teaching and things like that. But let me show you the Wheel of Fortune game that I put together. So this is the box for the Wheel of Fortune game. I got this from Ikea, and as you can see, these are the colors that come on the wheel. This is an idea that I got from a teacher on Instagram, which I will probably put down here what her Instagram handle is. I believe it's Teaching 6 with Miss C. And she then had cut different color paper and laminated them and put it all around the wheel so the wheel is colorful. So I did build my wheel, and let me show you how it looks. Here is the wheel with all the little strips of paper all cut. These are triangles, and I put it all together. Let me show you the back so that you can see how it looks. And I will work on finishing it off, if not today, tomorrow. But the last thing I need to do is put little pieces of Velcro on it so that I can easily exchange the different prizes. So there's different prizes that are gonna go on each wedge of the wheel. And every time students get 50 dojo points, or a multiple of 50, they get to spin the wheel for a prize. So they will go like this. And the wheel will stop at a number that has a prize on it. It'll show all the prizes. So I can't wait to fully finish it for you so that you can see how it is. And I can't wait to also show you having the students spin it and getting all the prizes. So that's gonna be a lot of fun, and it looks amazing. So other than that, in the morning, the students were just testing away. And then after lunch, we had our math lesson on classifying quadrilaterals, and then the students were practicing doing some of those problems. Tomorrow, they'll take the quiz for that first half of the chapter. And then later on tomorrow, Ms. Guzman is going to teach her first math lesson. Now, I wanted her to be here so that she can give a reflection on the last couple of days, but she had to go to tutoring. So I'll make sure that on the next vlog, because I'm ending today's vlog here with today, so this will be a 3-day vlog. But in the next vlog for the rest of the week, I'll make sure she sits down and she kind of has a reflection on her week. What were our glows and our grows? Definitely one of our grows is the bathroom issue, because our bathroom got flooded again during Spanish time, and that was no bueno. But every time that water comes out, it's not good. But anyway, I'm trying to do the best I can with all the interesting things that have been happening this week, like what has been going on with this week for sure. All right, so let me get ready and prep a couple of more things for my IG Live, which is going to be in about 30 minutes. And then I'll get back to you after it's done so I can kind of give you my little reflection on how it went. So I'll see you later. So I just finished my Instagram live session and it was really great. We had a small group of people attend, which was awesome because I'm like, I don't know if anybody's going to attend, but we had about, in total from coming in and out, about 20-something people attend. And I was able to share my ideas for how I address text-based writing in the classroom with my students. And they also shared some great ideas too. And I love being able to come together and learn from each other. I want to share with you what I shared with them. So let me do that right now. So one thing that I shared was how we look at the state writing rubric and how we color-coded each section and underlined essential vocabulary that distinguishes a 4 from a 3, and then of course a 2 from a 1, and a 0 when we're dealing with conventions. So this is important to use when you're scoring papers with your students and going over what it is that they needed to address in their writing. A big question that I had that was asked by multiple people was on elaboration. So this morning I got up, like I told you all, very early in the morning, and my brain was racing and I said, I need to put this together. So this is what I created for elaboration, which will be available in my TPT store by the time that you all watch this. And this is all out of order. Hold on, let me put this in order. And right here. Okay, so this will be the second slide. Basically goes over elaboration, ways to elaborate or some ideas for elaboration, and some additional ways to elaborate, along with some sentence starters that the students can use in order to signal an elaboration based on whatever they are answering to the prompt or the evidence that they're trying to use in order to address the prompt or task. So this is something that will be available in my TPT store by the time you watch this video. One important thing that I do go over with my students is the importance of knowing how to unwrap the prompt. And I have gone over APT 123 before, so I'm not going to go over it again, because if you watch my previous videos, I've gone over how we unwrap the prompt in my classroom. But one thing that I have my students do is make sure that after they unwrap the prompt, they go ahead and do their selective underlining and their annotations like I've shown you previously on all the sources. And then I show them how to go ahead and create their plan for writing. So this is my plan. This is how I gather my evidence. I use a content frame, and then on the back, it was the spaceship graphic organizer to help me structure how I was going to write my essay. Now, a couple of weeks ago, the students wrote to an informative prompt that asked them to compare and contrast two different things. So for that, I used a double bubble where the middle is the similarities and the outside is the differences. If it was an opinion writing like this one, which is on video games, I will use a T-chart where they have a yes and all the evidence that supports why yes, and all the evidence that supports why no. And then on the back, they have their spaceship. So this is a yes, that video games are good, and this is no, they are not good, so that they can go ahead and know how to structure their essays. Now, in addition to that, I also model. So this is one way that I show my students. I give them different examples of introductions. I color code it. This is the opener. This is the topic sentence using words from the prompt. And then I have them look at sample paragraphs, color coding each part, where the green is my topic sentence, which is my transition and reason, followed by, in this case, my elaboration, elaborating on that, my evidence to support that, and elaboration on that evidence. And there's different ways that you can do the T.R.E.E acronym, so that's one way. Here's another one using elaboration, evidence, elaboration, evidence, elaboration. And here's another paragraph starting with evidence and then ending with elaboration. So I also do that for Ella Fitzgerald. So these are the sample introductory paragraphs that show different ways to start. And I do the same thing, color coding the body paragraph so that they know what they need to include in each body paragraph. So that's something that I went over. I also went over the T.R.E.E foldable that I have mentioned before, which is how they can structure their body paragraphs, starting with transition, going with the reason or idea, evidence elaboration or elaboration evidence. And then from here, they know all the parts that they need to include in their body paragraphs for their essay. Another way that I help my students know exactly what to include in those body paragraphs, which are the most important, is I color code this, the transitions, reasons, / idea, evidence, and elaboration, just like before. But then I give students highlighters, and after I do a mini lesson on this, they'll highlight all the different parts of those paragraphs. So we have an opinion one and an informative one, and this is how it would look if it were all done completely. And then from this, they can then take this strategy and choose one body paragraph to highlight from a recent essay that they might have written, and they can see visually what they're missing. Are they missing elaboration? Are they missing evidence? Are they missing transitions, etc.? So those are some of the ways that I teach writing in my classroom, and these are the different strategies that I shared today during my Instagram Live. All right, so it was a lot of information. We were there on Instagram Live for about 25 minutes to 30 minutes, and it was pretty great. I can't wait to do another one on a different topic, so I'll have to poll my followers to see what it's another good topic to talk about and learn from each other. All right, so that is where I'm going to end my day. It's already 5:38. I gotta get out of here before 6 because it's late. I'm tired. And I want to go home and do some self-care because it's been an interesting week with the bathroom getting flooded and all that stuff that I mentioned before. All right, so I'm going to end the video here, and tomorrow we'll continue, and then you get to hear from Ms. Guzman in the next video. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day, and don't forget to smile. Hello dreamers, wishers, and magical thinkers. Thank you so much for making it to the very end of this video and for showing your support. If you'd like to subscribe, you can do so by clicking on my picture down here. You can also check out my latest videos here and here. Don't forget to believe in the magic that's inside you because you are capable of great things. See you next time.